What's up, everybody? Massimo DiDonna here. I got my new webcam. I'm all set, ready to go. Partners in Sound Productions. Midday with Mas. It is our first episode of the week. We took off this morning as the Techie Geek family had a death in the family. So out of respect, we passed on this morning's episode. But we have a great episode in store for everyone today. We have a very, very, very good friend of mine. A man that I met probably about 10 years ago, Rob Caplongo, and came and told the story of what he was doing to raise money to find the cure to Duchenne muscular dystrophy. And that's where they came up with the organization name of Michael's Cause in honor of little Michael. But before we get started, I'd like to bring on my co-host, coming live today from the Partners in Sound warehouse. So I'm upstairs on the third floor. He's downstairs in the warehouse. Without further ado, Todd Bivona. Oh, they having fun.
I'm at the green screen spot, and to be fair, I'm actually at the DJ tables, which is very bizarre for me. Let's get rid of this green screen because this is absolutely absurd. That's much better. All right, so now you see me. So this is obviously a green screen, but just to take people inside a little bit. It's Toddy B on the ones and twos. This is weird. This is just bizarre. I've never done something like this. So
Are you going to DJ?
I've never tried. Never been about it. But this is a cool setup you got here, Mas. We're going to do this again where Mas and I are going to be next to each other, 6 feet apart, next to each other. We're actually going to be able to broadcast for real next to each other, like an actual talk show. But this is cool. This is an awesome setup, Mas.
Thank you. Yeah, so we decided last minute to try to attempt to go live from the warehouse from where we're doing our virtual event, but it's a little bit more work than we thought. So we have to do some configuration, but we'll get it right for in the next week or two. We actually have a live broadcast, a virtual event coming up in a day or two. So I don't think it'd be wise to start taking things apart, so on and so forth. But I'm just going to fix my camera angle right here. Okay.
I'm loving the webcam. Looks good.
Does it look good? I don't like the way it looks on the screen, but as long as it's
really,
yeah, no, it's kind of funny. I'm used to doing this.
Right, that's true.
So it's a little hard, but I think it's very, very important. I know he has limited time today, but I want to bring out our guest.
Yep.
So I met him a few years ago. There he is, a good friend, Rob Caplongo. I met him a few years ago at an SIEDC 40 under 40 meeting. Rob came in and he was selling chocolate bars to raise money, to raise awareness and money for Michael's Cause. And Rob came in, he showed a video presentation, and I was hooked. And Rob, was that about 9 years ago?
Yeah. It was 2011 when we started Michael's Cause, and it was a pleasure to meet you then, and it's still a pleasure to know you now. And we've been through a lot over that time. And Todd, good to see you again as well. And thanks for having me on today, guys. I certainly appreciate it.
Well, thank you so much for coming on. And that was we got to have a little fun. That was you met Fat Mas.
Yeah. Listen, there's been a little bit of a change over the years, in a lot of different ways. So for sure, that was a different Mas.
I think it's important that. I mean,
Yeah.
Maybe I should start drinking. So, Rob and I obviously go back, a little bit under a decade, and it really is amazing. Rob he's a sergeant in the police department. He's an essential first responder. Teresa, Rob's amazing wife, is a nurse at Staten Island North.
Yeah.
Staten Island North. Mom and dad both on the front lines helping to deal with this pandemic, and 3 beautiful children at home. And so, Rob, I mean, you and I, we start right after the new year. We start those phone calls. We got to get ready for the big event. Unfortunately, we had to postpone from March to August, and I guess we'll switch gears a little bit as the chairman of Michael's Cause. Tell us a little bit about what's going on.
Well, I mean, listen, like pretty much everyone else has been dealing with this pandemic. I mean, I don't need to tell you guys. I mean, people have lost their jobs. People have lost their livelihoods. New Yorkers and people across the country and around the world are having trouble just feeding their families at this time. us as my wife and I were fortunate to be bringing in a check every week, and we were grateful for that. As a foundation and a charity for Michael's cause, we're in a holding pattern right now. And Mas, you said it best. We had a huge event planned on March 21st, over 800 people scheduled to come into the Hilton that night. And obviously we had to postpone that event. We did have it planned for August 1st. And quite honestly, that's on hold now as well, because none of these venues are open. And quite honestly, if they do open, we're probably not going to be able to put 800 people in an event in August. So yeah, it's been a tough go on a lot of fronts. Certainly on in the nonprofit world as well.
So it's for those of you that have never had the honor and privilege to attend a Michael's Cause dinner dance. It is probably my favorite day of the year. And it's a day that I wish we never had to do, but getting involved with Rob, Teresa, and all the amazing ambassadors and board members, my family and I look forward to it. I think I'm one of the first people to buy a table every year. And it's when all this started going on, it was there's so many, I wear multiple hats. I'm we perform at thousands of events. I host some of my own fundraising efforts, but the biggest, I guess, for me, one of the most disappointing things of what's going on is that we weren't able to get the dinner dancing. And outside of the fact that it's an amazing event, all the money raised it goes to find the cure to Duchenne muscular dystrophy. And year to date, we've raised over millions of dollars. That night is a few $100,000. And, we got to figure out how to make up that money somehow, some way. And I know, Rob, I'm sure you're probably coming up with some ideas to maybe try to offset some of the numbers without, hurting people that are already hurting so much.
Yeah, and that's the fine line you have to walk, Mas. It's charity work is definitely a fine line of where obviously all the money we raise goes to research and to try and help find a cure for this disease. We're not in it for personal gain. We're not in it to raise. There's no salaries. We have no salaried employees on the payroll here. So it's like all of the money is directed out to the best research and to help other boys that have this disease. So having said that, we have to kind of also understand that, hey, there are people out there without jobs. So how do you go out and solicit donations to people when you don't have, when they don't have jobs? And again, it's something that we have to really be conscious of. We have to be aware of, and we have to be very, very understanding of that at this time, Nonetheless, you still want to have some exposure out there. You want to have your name out there in a positive light. We've tried to do some different things as well, positive things, giving back a little bit to the community that's been so supportive to us as well.
This is one thing that what makes our community and our neck of the world so special is that as someone that runs an NFP that has done tremendous work over the last 10 years. Same thing with us. I switched gears a little bit from Partners in Sound to Beanie for a minute. The NFPs that rely so much on the small businesses for support, I mean, we've all given back. I mean, Michael's Cause has provided meals for the hospitals, has filled up some food pantries, has so many NFPs. And, that's what makes our community special, right? That we got each other's back when we need to have it most. And we're going to get through this. And next year, whenever we're able to get the event in, if it's end of the year, or if the board decides to kick the can down the road to next year, we're going to come back with a vengeance. And that's the biggest thing that we need to let our community know, that, whatever organization you're with, and if you were attending a Michael's Cause dinner dance event, I think a ticket was it $175 this year, Rob?
Yeah, it was $175.
Maybe you can still be charitable. Maybe you can still go to the Michael's Cause page and make a donation of $50, $100, whatever. Every little bit helps, just so we can continue our mission to try to find the cure for Duchenne muscular dystrophy. Before we continue, if we could just ask all of our viewers to share our post as we want us to go viral. I think it's so important. We get a lot of views throughout the day, but we like to get some live viewers also. But I mean, Rob, how's I mean, 3 kids. How's Michael?
Yeah. So listen, I got to tell you, my oldest son is at Farrell, and he's doing his thing. He's a sophomore there, and he's handling his business. Michael's in 8th grade at IS 75 here on Staten Island, graduating this year. And just like so many of the other kids that are kind of sharing graduations from home, it's kind of sad to see that people graduating, kids graduating from college and high school and grammar school. It's kind of tough. My daughter's in 3rd grade, and she, the online schooling is no joke. I'm learning algebra all over again here, and I don't think I learned it the first time, but we're learning it again. So it's been no fun. But so we're managing. Everyone's doing okay, thank God. Everyone's been COVID free here in this home. But to share a story, just a quick story with you. I know you had mentioned as far as kind of giving back a little bit. Just recently, the other day, we got notified of a man who's 19 years old. He actually passed away. He had Duchenne muscular dystrophy. He lived in Brooklyn. He contracted the COVID virus. And we got notified by someone at a local funeral home here because they knew of Michael's cause, and they said, "Hey, does Michael's cause help families in need?" And this was a very, very destitute family. They didn't have a lot of money, and they wanted the young man cremated. And they lived in Brooklyn, and we kind of stepped in, and we were able to grant them $5,500 to help with some of the funeral expenses. And let me tell you, we've literally funded close to $2 million towards research. This $5,500 that we gave to that family was probably the most satisfying money that we've donated in all the time that I've been doing this. That money was almost like giving them $1 million. That's how much it meant to them. So to your point, sometimes giving back really makes you feel just so good, and really does. It goes a long way, And I know what you guys have done with Beanie and all you giving back to the community. It does go a long way, it really does. And I think it's an important part of all these nonprofits that just do so much for the community, for sure.
And just it's something that I've always advocated and always addressed, not advocated, but always told the story, is that all of the proceeds raised by Michael's cause goes to finding a cure, research, bringing awareness to Duchenne muscular dystrophy. None of that money directly goes to the Caplongo family. So the fact that, this is a 365-day-a-year job for Rob. Rob and I joke about it. I think at the end of every dinner dance, I say, and I guess we start tomorrow for next year. and he goes, we need a couple of days. But really, I say this openly on the air. I've said it behind closed doors. If there was ever an organ, I sit on, obviously I run the Beanie Fund and I sit on the board for Michael's cause. And I've been honored and asked to sit on multiple boards, and I always respectfully decline because I feel it's a conflict of interest. If Beanie went away tomorrow, my heart will 100% always be with Michael's cause, because besides the fact that we know where the proceeds are going, Rob and Teresa are amazing people. They're an amazing family. And the friends we made, I mean, there are board members and ambassador board members that have invited me to their houses for dinner or have invited me to birthday parties. I think I'm still a little drunk from Freddie Trapp's 50th. That was a good party.
Listen, your words, Moss, mean the world to us. I think we've all become one big happy family with this thing, and you've helped us make a pretty unthinkable situation, I won't say tolerable, but you help us get through every day. When we first got our diagnosis and Michael got this diagnosis, it was, the end of the world. And I will tell you one thing, that the silver lining for this whole thing is that we've met some pretty unbelievable people, including you guys, that we would have probably never met unless he was diagnosed with this, and that is the silver lining. And we are going to find a cure for this, and we are going to find better treatments, and Michael's going to live a longer life than any of these other boys that ever did, and that's the positive. And listen, he's going to be 14 on Wednesday. Wednesday's his birthday. Wow. And when he was diagnosed, he was 4 years old. He wasn't supposed to be walking past the age of 10. He's going to be walking out my front door. He's going to be walking up for, we're going to do a drive-by birthday, because that's what we do now, right? And he's going to be walking out to the street, and people are going to see him, as they drive by. And that's, a credit to the doctors and scientists and to to all the nonprofits that have helped, raise money and awareness and funding and help science and medicine get closer to a cure. So we listen. We keep one day at a time. We hope for the best. Faith and hope, and that's really what it comes down to. I mean, there's a lot of negativity in this world. Obviously, with everything we're dealing with this COVID virus, there's a lot of anxious people. People want to get out. We want to go to restaurants. We want to go to bars. We want to get back to doing what we always do. As Americans, we want to see the Yankees and Mets, and we want to do different things. But at the end of the day, we're going to be okay, and this too shall pass. A couple of months from now, when this is behind us, we're going to be like, maybe it wasn't that bad. We got to eat dinner with our families every night, and we're okay. We ended up getting past it. And that will be the case. It's not easy going through it now. I know that, but for sure. But we will get through it. And that much I know. And so it's going to be all right.
One day at a time, as I like to say.
Yeah, for sure.
The crazy thing is that you hit the nail on the head, Rob. We're going to get through this. If it's in a day, a week, a month. Hopefully not too many more months. I don't want to go to the next time frame of saying a year, but I know. And every industry is different. You mentioned baseball. Todd's an MLB guy. He works in the networks. Some positive news coming out that some sports. Yeah, I mean NASCAR was went live yesterday. I mean that was great. And the drivers were all over the road because they didn't get to warm up, which was pretty cool. Horse racing is coming back. So we're a step in the right direction. And I feel, obviously, entertainment, hospitality, NFPs, we're some ways off. I mean, do we come back in the summer? Maybe, maybe not. Hopefully the fall, and at the absolute latest, the beginning of the year. But I look forward to it. I mean, I look forward to the events. I look forward to what we do. It's so important that we just get the message out there that there's hundreds of amazing non-for-profits, but if you can still find it in your hearts, and most importantly, from an affordability standpoint, still contribute. If it's the Michael's Cause, if it's an On Your Mark, a community, whichever NFP that you always go to that dinner dance, or you always go to that fundraiser or that walk or wherever it may be. I think we still got to get the message out. We're supporting the local businesses as best as we can, supporting everyone you can. Still, go in your pocket, because from a non-for-profit standpoint, Rob, and you'll know if someone just makes a donation, there's 100% of those proceeds are going into the initiative, and that's so important. But
to your point, yeah, Mas, I mean, there's so many worthwhile causes. You mentioned On Your Mark and the Beanie Fund. I mean, there's so many causes locally to us here that we attend so many events that now obviously we haven't gone to in several months. that we're used to going to. Just different groups that are out there helping individuals and different communities and whatnot, it's important for people to help, and that's really what it comes down to, even in these times of need. And every dollar counts, not only with Michael's Cause, with all these other groups as well, and that I've always instilled that too. Even with the police department, people say, "Oh, you got 40,000 cops, can't you?" solicit every one of them. And I'm like, it's crazy with the police department. There's a lot of sick kids. There's a lot of cops that have sick kids. There's a lot of cops that are sick themselves. You know what I mean? So it's kind of like you have to be cognizant of that fact. You have to be aware that, hey, Michael isn't the only sick little boy on the police department. So we're aware of that, and you have to recognize that fact too. Unfortunately, there's a lot of illness in this world, and we're aware of that, and we're always willing to help others as well, and we've learned a lot from you guys at Beanie, and we've learned a lot from the other organizations, not only locally but beyond, I can think we all kind of learn from each other, and yeah, we go to different events, and we have a great time. Believe me, I love to go to every other event except my own, firsthand, you go to our own event, it's like you're nothing but a bundle of nerves the whole time, and
so we got to. I think we should go back a couple of events. So first off, I'm going to get in trouble for saying this because I'm supposed to be completely non-biased, but I think that the Michael's Cause Dinner Dance is probably one of, if not the best dinner dance fundraisers out there. It's an amazing night. It's so much fun. And with that being said, we got to go back and talk about a couple of things that have gone on. And let's bring Rob back on, Todd. So let's talk about Massimo DiDonna being honored. And Rob and Teresa are at the podium before I come on, and boom, the video doesn't play. We were talking about that a few episodes ago, and we were laughing. We were like, we were having some technical difficulties on the show, and I was like, guys, it always happens when you're the guy. I said a few years ago, Rob and Teresa honored me as being the honoree for the night, and I'm up there, and I don't remember the course of events, and all right, we're going to play the video, and boom, the video don't play. I'm like, oh, well, the video played, we had no audio. And the worst part about that was I needed to go on and give my speech right after that. And, the Frank D'Amato's in the crowd and the rest of them going good. And the Jerry Amorosis are torturing me to no end. But let's, I want to talk about my highlight a little bit of the night. I remember a few years ago when we came up with the pledging moment. And, our goal was to try to raise, I think, 10 or 15,000. And that first night, that first year we did it, I was able to, I think we raised like 15 or 20 grand. And then we pushed it to 50. And then I remember last year, I looked in the room and Jen Finch and I were like, wow, there was 862 people. I don't remember what the number was. It was a lot of people. And I remember looking at Joe Rico, and the other Joe. What's the other Joe's last name?
Cristiano.
And I said, guys, change the opening bid from 5,000 to 10,000.
I'm glad you didn't tell me that, but that's good as it turned out.
I'm gonna turn around and I'm gonna take total blame now from a distance that I was the guy that did it.
All right.
Because I felt it in my bones that we were going to break $100,000, and in 7 minutes, I think we did one of the most amazing things to ever hit this island, is to raise over 6 figures. I mean, I know we're still collecting some pledges, but almost, I think we hit the 6-figure mark that night, and that was just
$108,000 in just under 10 minutes. Unbelievable. And people in the room donating from their hearts, and just to try and save a little boy and many little boys. I can't even. And to be honest with you, my wife and I, when the pledging moment starts, it was always like, yeah, there you go. So it was always kind of like a little bone of contention. We just didn't know how that would go. It's like almost like one of those things where you kind of cringe. Do you ask people for money like this? And the outpouring of support for Michael and for the charity and for these little boys that are sick has been nothing short of amazing. And I tell people this, and the money that this thing raises, and other charities look at this and like, how is that possible? I mean, they asked, do you have like a staff of like 50 people that you pay? And they said, actually, no, we don't pay anybody. There's no one on staff that we pay. They can't believe that. And then the job that Massimo did, getting people to kind of dig into their pockets. And I don't even know if you want to say dig. They just kind of, they want to give, and that's the difference,
I made a joke about it. Whoever's on the scroll, if you could go back to that picture of me with the microphone, and anyone that knows me knows that anybody that truly is a performer, let the picture come into, it's lagged a little bit. But one of the things is that as a performer, right before you go out and you do something, you get butterflies in your stomach. And I always do. I'll openly admit it that right before I get out there. And I remember the first year, we were opium, or I don't remember what the drug was. We took all the money from the pledging moment and we put it behind the drug that, the board.
OPG, yeah, OPG.
And I hate going off script. I think when I'm at a podium and I'm giving a speech, it's great. But if anyone that knows me knows, the one hand in the pocket with the one hand on the microphone is totally like, I got this. I'm casual, and I'm not getting off the dance floor until I raise our goal. And I'm not nervous. I'm not nervous because I believe in what I'm asking for. I'm asking people that already spent a lot of money to be there to just give us a little bit more so we can make that difference. And I mean, the proof is in the numbers. The proof is in the numbers. Rob, you and Teresa have done an amazing job. you guys have been given, with Michael, it's amazing. I mean, I've told the story, a few times. My mom and dad, when my sister was born, were given a gift of a child that was special needs, and my mom and dad never gave up. And with the support of friends and family, they always had their back, and that's why I'm so compelled to be there with you guys, to have your back, because it's a round world. The more we give, the more we get, and we're gonna make up the couple of 100,000 that we're not able to do this year. And
yeah, I mean, really, Moss, it's like a group effort, really. I've always said if we could take our name out of it, we would. It's not about us. It's not about. Believe me, I mean, I meet people. So many people you meet on the street, and they, oh, Rob, you're Michael's. I don't even know who these people are, but they kind of know us from the charity, and it's. I almost feel bad that I don't remember all these people, but we have made an impact. But in particular, I remember being in Aruba last year. We were on a family vacation, and Michael had his motorized scooter that we were going down the strip in Aruba, and I'll never forget it. It's in the evening time, and we're walking, and Michael's riding, and all of a sudden there's a guy walking the other way, and he recognized Michael, and he goes, and this is out in Aruba, right halfway across the world. He says, "Oh," he goes, "there's Michael from Michael's Cause on Staten Island." And it was just like, that's unbelievable,
It's a celebrity.
It's like crazy. People we hadn't even known, So it's pretty amazing. He's touched a lot of people. He doesn't know it. He doesn't realize it, But he has had the impact, the positive impact on a lot. His perseverance, his strength, his dealing with what he deals with without complaint, and like a lot of little boys the same way, So it's not only him, it's certainly a lot of these kids go through a lot that behind the scenes that aren't even really spoken about, And I'll share a story with you. Then I kind of tell this to some people along the way, and it kind of really hits home. When Mike was first diagnosed, he was only 4 years old. We were down in Baltimore at a medical conference, and I met a family down there, and it was actually another police officer. He lived in Colorado, and he had a son there. He was about 9 years old. Rich Ramito, his name was. His son was his name was Dominic, and I said to him, I said, yeah, I saw Michael, and I said, we're so upset. He was just diagnosed with this, disorder. And he says, he goes, you're going to be okay. And I said, how could you say that? This disease is terrible. He says, Rob, he goes, listen, he goes, I have an 18-year-old son, and he's a pitcher. He's about to get drafted by the Oakland A's. He's an excellent pitcher. I said, well, that's great. He goes, I also have two other kids at home. He says, when my son Dominic was diagnosed with Duchenne, he was 5, and he says, we checked at that time my 3-year-old, and he had Duchenne. And then he says, we also checked my 1-year-old, and he had Duchenne. He says, I have 3 boys with Duchenne muscular dystrophy. And I said, oh, my God. I said, here I have 1. And he goes, I said, you have 3. And I said, I'm ready to, God knows do what. And I said, you're dealing with 3. And I said, how do you get through every day? And he rolled up his sleeve. He says, I'm not a big tattoo guy. But he says, I got this tattoo when I was, after this, just to help me get through every day. And it said, it's a big inscription. It said faith and hope. He says faith in whatever it is you believe in, and the hope that someday we're going to find a cure. And I said, wow, that really meant something to me, because, whenever I got down, I always thought about this guy and how he was so positive amongst having 3 kids living with a fatal disorder. I said, I thought I had it bad. Listen, look at this guy, and so when times are bad, and I share this story with other people that say, I had a really bad day. And you kind of put things in perspective when you hear something like that, and I said, yeah, Mike's got, he's got it pretty tough, but there's always someone out there that could have it just a little bit worse, Fast forward to where they are now, his 3 boys, unfortunately they're all not walking now, but they're all okay, and he's doing all right. And the other son never made it to the bigs, but he's doing all right too. And so it's just like a point of like, you just never know where life is going to take you. You never know who you're going to meet to kind of give you that inspiration sometimes, And I just wanted to share that story with you and to some of the viewers that may be on here too, that you just never know where in life or who in life you may meet to help you give you that little edge to kind of, to help you get through some tough times, and that was my inspiration, and that really helped me kind of, when times are tough, I always think back to that time almost 10 years ago now, I wanted to share that with you.
You think about it, it's sad to say, but someone's always got it a little bit worse. And
truth be told.
And it puts perspective and like, you know what, my situation is bad, but that guy over there has got it a little bit worse. Maybe I should be thankful, thankful for the blessings that I have,
Right.
however bad they may be.
Yeah.
Just to spin things a little bit. So what do we have left for the year? I mean, obviously August 1st, yay, nay.
Yeah. So August 1st is definitely on. We're kind of it's still up in the air. We'll know within a week or two where we're going with that. Then on top, we have a big run and a walk that we do in September, which a lot is going to be dictated on how the schools and what happens with the schools, because that's and the sports programs that go on. Then we have the New York City Marathon, which we have 10 runners in that, and that's up in the air whether they're going to run the marathon or not. As of now, it's still scheduled, and we do need some runners. So, Mas, if you're interested in running, we got Todd as a runner. We'll take you, Todd.
So Rob, all joking aside, Todd has done the marathon about 10 times.
We need you.
New York City Marathon 7 times. I ran Boston twice.
So what are you trying to say? Are we signing Massimo DiDonna up for the marathon?
Well, we could have 2 runners right here today.
Listen, Todd, if you're going to come to Staten Island from Jersey and you're going to get my ass up, I will train and I will 100% do the marathon. I got no excuse.
You have no excuse now. And listen, if Todd ran the Boston Marathon, I know he's got a good time too, because that's a requirement, right? You have to do it in a certain amount of time.
Rob, full disclosure, I'm flattered that you would think that, but I got in through sponsors.
Okay.
So I was Team Nissan in 2010, and I was Team NBC I forget when I was. So I'll be totally honest, sponsorships, they got me in. But I'm like a 340s. I'm like a 340 guys. So
basically, what we're saying is you're going to make me commit now on May 18th at 3:35 to run the marathon, because we know when Massimo DiDonna says he's going to do something, he doesn't back up. Either he buys his way out of it or gets someone to take off, but I can't do that tomorrow.
I want to bring you on.
And I actually because with the runners, obviously you have to, all the runners for the charity originally had to raise $4,000 a runner. I've actually since lowered this to $2,500 a runner. So that's all you'd have to get in donations before the race. Actually, before December 1st. Okay. So you'd have to just raise a total of $2,500. The charity pays for your entrance fee, buys you paraphernalia to wear and stuff like that, buys you an online virtual running app to run with.
So we need it. So number one, we need 10 people. Rob, who are the
Well, I got four are committed so far. So I need, 5 more.
So it's you, Eddie, who else?
No, Eddie's not. I didn't ask Eddie to do it.
I thought Eddie was coming back. I'm sorry, I didn't mean to put you on the spot.
He didn't mention it, so I don't know.
So basically, I'll try and I'll do it, but I need a couple of commitments. We have 26 miles, right?
26.
So I need a shot at every mile marker. The only way I'm going to get through this.
I don't think you get it through it like that.
So Dave, you're on screen. So Rob, Dave. Dave is the one that screwed up the video on purpose.
I know that.
I was just telling Todd it was the most gut-wrenching feeling of my life when that happened.
So
I looked at my wife. I'm like, oh no, the video's not playing.
And the worst part is looking at it. See, Rob's a piece of bread. Teresa's the one I'm scared of. I don't mess with Teresa. She'll kill you. I don't know. She scares me.
We take it with a grain of salt, Maz. There's worse things that could be happening, Let's think of it that way.
Todd, if we're gonna train, I need someone to train with me because I'll never do it by myself.
Dave?
No, Dave. There's no way, Dave. Dave will stand in the car behind me holding the carrot, making sure I keep going.
I'll hold the ball McCown out the window.
So
Todd will tell you this is listen. I was a 5.5 hour guy last year, Todd. So I'm barely getting through the race. You know what I'm saying? It's not an easy race.
But that's fine. I mean, it all comes down to the finishing, right?
Yeah.
It comes down to getting your body to the point. Sorry.
Double audio between you and Dave. You're feeding back.
Gotcha.
See, Rob, even when they're all unemployed, I still got to be the boss.
Yeah, I see that.
So even just finishing the race is just an accomplishment, and then getting your body to a point that it can do 1 mile, 2 miles, 5 miles, 10, 15, going out and running the length of Staten Island and running back, and then getting to finish it, and then getting to Central Park and using the motivation of what Rob's been doing and what Michael's been going through, and just like, I don't care. I'm at this point. I'm going to keep going. And that's what you get you through that
you've done a bunch of them, right? I've done just this one marathon, and I will tell you that without a doubt, it is the best feeling out of anything I've ever done in my life. You know, you experience all these different communities as you're running through the city. You're experiencing every emotion between joy to pain to to tears, to everything. I got to be honest with you. Every emotion along the way, and but finishing it is the most satisfying feeling I've had in my whole life. I got to be brutally honest with you.
It is. It really is, and the elation of crossing the finish line, and you can barely walk, you could barely move. But then they get the medal around you. Congratulations, moving you along. You put on your little poncho. You put on your reflective shield to keep you warm. Because remember, it's the first weekend in November, so it's a little chilly. It could be very cold at Fort Wadsworth. Ran.
It was cold. It was cold.
Because you're at Fort Wadsworth and you're just standing there, and that's the worst part of the entire race. The heck with cramps. The heck with not feeling good. The worst part is Fort Wadsworth and just waiting around, just sitting around, waiting around, that anticipation, that buildup. So I have a question, Rob. When do you go off? Do you go off right with the elites? Like, are you in that category?
No, I went off in the last wave. I went off with, because they go by a time frame too. Like if you're in that 3 hour window, you could go off. I could have went off with the PD with the elites, but actually a lot of people said, you know what? Because I was in that 12 mile minute range. And they said it's probably not better to go off with the elites, because to be honest with you, you're going to have like 15,000 runners passing you, and like from a mental standpoint, that's probably not the best thing in the world, so I actually went out with the last wave, so it depends on where you are. But, I have to tell you that it's, I think there's some stat out there. It's like 0.5 of 1% of anyone in the world ever actually completes a marathon. There's some like ridiculous stat that way. And I could at least say that, hey, whether I, die tomorrow or live to 90, at least I did it. You know what I'm saying?
So basically, what you're saying is, I know Dave is down there. So Dave wants to break chops because I can see it in his face. So Dave, I'm going to do it, but you're going to raise the money for it.
Listen, someone just walked in here and said you won't do it. And I can only guess who you exactly. He just said it.
Who?
Exactly.
I'm confused.
Who?
Girardi?
Yeah.
So Anthony Girardi is Anthony Girardi going to pledge money to this? Is he still in the shop?
He walked into the office or went to his car. I really don't know. He disappears.
As long as somebody will train with me, I will do it. You have my commitment. I'm there. It'll probably be the only year I'm ready to go, and the goddamn thing will probably get canceled. That'll just be Massimo DiDonna's luck. I'm ready to go. I'm running like a 20-minute mile. I'm good. We're not going to try for anything less than that. And it'll be like the day before that idiot mayor will cancel this thing on me. But I'm in. If Todd, as long as I know Rob's very busy, but Todd, if you're gonna, I don't want to take 2 spots, Rob, but if I get Todd, because we can.
No, you can take 2. Take them. I need to get 10 runners. I plan on giving it another try, so I still need 5 spots. If you 2 guys want to do it, I got spots for you.
Todd, are you in? If worst case scenario, we'll just
think about it. Think about it. You think about it. You don't have to commit to it on live TV. Don't worry.
No. We got to put it. And listen, Todd, if the worst case scenario is you're unemployed, I'm unemployed. But our third co-host, is the only one making money. We'll just give him the bill.
Time out. We have a big thing in. Anthony Girardi will pledge $100 for every mile Moss completes.
I'm in. If I could take 2,600 from Anthony Girardi, I am in. I am in.
That's the whole thing. You're in.
I think Joe Russo could throw. Joe Russo, you got any money on this? On the spot. But I
would love to say I could do this, but there's no chance in hell I could do 22 miles.
Well, it's actually 26.1, but who's counting?
Yeah, exactly.
Do they have the poop out bus like they did for March of Dimes?
Yeah, there'll be a bus. Listen, if you have to break down and walk, there's plenty of people that do it, you know. But I have to tell you, if I could do, I never did a long race like this before. I got at the starting point, you know, I did 450 miles of training to lead up to this thing. And Todd will tell you it's a lot of running to start, you know, that you have to train for. I was 255 pounds at race day. You know, 255 pounds. I wasn't a lightweight. I'm a big guy, right? And the guys, of course, the cops in the office, they're all busting my balls, right? They're saying, there was a big sign in the office. Oh, I thought it was 2.62 miles, you know, instead of 26.2 miles. You know? So I kept that sign and I hung it in my locker, you know, and I said, you know what? I'm going to keep this as motivation. So, but listen, if I could do it, you could do it. Dave, you could do it as well. You know, if your heart is bigger than your body, you could do it. That's what it comes down to.
Listen, there is nothing that we made a rule, Rob, on this show. Probably about 79 episodes ago, that if someone makes a challenge for charity, you have to accept it. We made Michael Grazuso jump into Lemon Creek for $500.
Jesus Christ.
What are we for leukemia? What do we raise the money for? He's he's walking on the beach, and I'm like, Mike, do us all a favor. Is there anything you would do for charity? He goes, there's nothing I wouldn't do for charity. I said, you're going for a dip. Rob, I waved $500. I mean, he might have got COVID from going in for a dip. It's still, the test results have not come back.
Amongst other things. God only knows what.
But I'm in. Todd, if you're training me, you can count me in, and I'm with. I need someone to stay on top of me to train me, because you know me, I'll make 1,000 excuses. So,
right.
and if to raise money for Michael's cause, you know I'm not going to say no. And for me, it's on the bucket list, Rob, of marathon. And
Is it really?
It's on the bucket list, and not for any other reason. But my father-in-law, that was one of the last things he did before 9/11. He, I don't know if it was 99 or 98 or 2000. He ran the marathon. And Desiree says it all the time. She goes, you know, if there's one thing I want to do in honor of my father, it's running the marathon. So we talk about it every year, every Sunday. We always, on that November Sunday, we watch it. And like, all right, we got to get started. But I'm 100% in, committed. And if we can, as long as I get a trainer, I need someone to give me a kick in the head.
Hey, listen, it's you know, this virtual thing that the road runners give, it's a 16-week training course, basically. And Todd will tell you, if you follow this thing for it's really, you could do the marathon if you train it for this thing with 16 weeks. It's really, it's, you know, it's not like you got to run for years and say, hey, you know, if you do this thing for 16 weeks and build your way up to it. Hey, listen, you're not looking to do 7-minute miles, you know?
No, listen, if I'm going, I want to win. Rob, I'm a winner. We got Big Jerry Amorosi on here. There's no shot Jerry Amorosi is running the marathon, but I can definitely get I know he's a little tight right now too, with the mall being closed. But yes, Anthony, there's no reason to record it. I am 100%. 2020, Massimo DiDonna is running the marathon for Michael's course. 100%. There's not a doubt. I got nothing else going on. I've been sitting here all day. The phone rang 3 times. I might as well do something productive with my time.
Okay.
And this is great. I could run to Montalbano's for lunch. Then I could run to Country Donuts for coffee.
Yeah, you'll get to know a lot of in the ins and outs of Staten Island like you've never seen before. Believe me when I tell you that.
It's true. That's true.
Jerry Amorosi, one of my mentors on the chat, Rob, he said he's going to buy me roller skates. You don't have to buy me roller skates. I already have them. But let's be honest, Jerry. Any comment here? As I have 3 mentors. They're all very, very, very old. You, Frank D'Amato, and Frank Provenzano. You guys have a combined age of about 742. But with that being said, Jerry, do you have anything to rebuttal here that I'm going to run the marathon? Nothing. Let's see if he likes.
Yeah, give him a second. I'm sure he's going to pop with something like, wow, I can't. This is awesome. Now you're motivating me. So, Rob, to be clear, I had to bow out of the race a couple of years ago because I tore ligaments in my ankle at work, and I did 2 weeks before the race.
Scared.
Scared. Coming from the guy that ran 9 marathons. You kidding me? I know New York City Marathon. I can take New York City Marathon. I'll take it again with you. You know what? I'm in now. I wasn't in 5 seconds ago. Now
Todd is in.
Go.
Todd,
I'm screaming. I'm screaming in the warehouse apartment sound. Let's go.
Todd
I'm
is
ready.
in.
So we're in. You're full of shit. Jerry Amorosi. Jerry, I want to know one thing. At the end of the race, when I'm in Central Park, when I finish, am I getting the one Rolex that I always wanted as a gift from Uncle Jerry? Am I getting the white gold presidential waiting? You can get a couple of people to chip in for this because they'll all, you can take insurance on this and I'll probably die before I hit the cross. Jerry Amorosi is pledging $500 to Michael's cause if I finish. So Anthony Girardi has pledged $2,600. Jerry has pledged. I'm already in. I'm done. My 3,100's done.
All right. There you go.
So that's it, Todd. After the show, we're going to make a game plan on how we're going to do this. Rob, have I ever let you down in the 9 years that we've done?
No, you haven't. No, you haven't.
I will not. You might as well just find me for roadkill on the side of the road, but there's no chance I'm not going to try. And I'm going to finish. And I'll finish. I might finish like December 4th, but I'm going to finish.
And to be fair, I mean, there are plenty of people who finish. I'm not saying you're gonna do this, but I feel like I have to throw it out there. If you want to walk, you could walk and you could finish at night.
There's a lot of walkers. There's a lot of walkers.
And we could do the walk run method. You could run for a half mile and then walk a mile. You can run for a quarter mile and then walk another mile. Like it does.
I need somebody with me because the problem is for me, and I'll be very, very, very frank, being 350 pounds, getting down to like I'm 2.25 today. And I got down to 179, which I was very, very, very skinny for me. I would really, really, really love to do this. Number one, just to prove to myself that I can do it, and obviously raising money, for an amazing charity. But it's for me, it's like one of these things now. Once I get it in my head, I got to do it. That's it. Now we got to do it. I'm in.
Maria Scalisi, I pledge $500 if he finishes. Anthony Girardi says, I already upped your life insurance policy. And Jerry Amorosi saying, anyone else who wants to pledge? Do they have a walk eat method? No, that's after the race. After the race.
No.
I
got it under control. I'm going to take my Gucci satchel and as I want, and I'm going to fill it up with fresh mozzarella and everything like that. Like bocconcini. I'm just going to pop them as I go like Tic Tacs.
Oh my goodness! To be fair, people carry little bits of food in their belts. I carry goos. I carry sometimes 1 year I carry coffee beans.
Hey Todd, when you say goo, he might get the wrong idea with that. He doesn't know what the goo is exactly at this point.
True.
You're gonna know what the goo is by the end of this race.
He'll definitely know what the goos are. They're life saving. Rob, I'm sure you could attest. Those save my life. I take them every 7 miles or so. The back half of the race, I take them every 4, and it's essentially a jolt of energy filled with electrolytes.
Another 500. Vinny Bonomi just pledged 500. Rob, I'm in. Girardi's got 2,600 on it. Every mile completed, and I got 1,500. My aunt, Vinny Bonomi, and Jerry Amorosi. And we know you can count Frank Provenzano in for 500. He'll pledge 10,000 if I don't finish, just so he can hold it over my head. I know him like a book. But
there you go.
You got to get your GoFundMe link by the end of the day, Mas. You're gonna have the whole team outfitted with donations.
Wow!
Wow!
Vinny Bonomi, 500 if he starts and 500 if he finishes. $1,000. So now, Rob, we're over $5,000. There's no chance of me saying no. I mean, even if I gotta go to like some country and get a clone that looks like me, that's a marathon run. I'll find a way. But I'm in. I'm 100% going to do this. But I don't want to make it all about this. I know that you said you also had a big announcement you may wanted to make about, the tickets. I don't know if you still want to do that or you want to hold back.
No, so we want to one of a big part of the dinner dance event that we do every March is that we have a big cash raffle that we hold that we announce the winner the night of our dinner. Obviously, the dinner got postponed, and there's a good chance that there's the raffle ticket. There's a good chance that the August 1st event may get postponed or canceled again. So we are planning on announcing this winner. I don't know if that's coming in clear or not. If people could see that. Yeah, I think they kind of got the gist of it. But we are going to make an announcement, and maybe with your help, Moss, we could kind of do that in the next few weeks. You know.
So you know what we can do, Rob, if you want, if it's okay with you. And Todd, why don't you come back in on us as the live TV guy? This is your Rob. Rob, do we want to do the Apple, the MacBook Air, and all that stuff, or just
yeah? No, I would like to do both that and the MacBook, which both would have been drawn the night of the dinner dance, you know. And I would like to do it in a fashion where we have it, it's drawn from a hopper, it's drawn, on a.
This is so. I buy a new webcam, and the old webcam I could do that.
Yeah, it's not focusing up. I don't know why. That's weird.
So Todd, I don't know if you've ever come to a Michael's Kors dinner dance, most amazing night of the year, and an event I wish we didn't have to do, but the fact that we do it, we make the best of the situation of raising money. So there's a lot of raffles. I mean, Rob, what he does with raffles is I mean, if he ever needs to retire from the PD and go into like raffles, that should be Rob's job. I mean, the stuff that he gets is amazing, but they do, and I'm going to read it off right off the ticket. So there is, we 350 raffle tickets go for $100 a ticket, and there's 4 prizes: a $15,000, a $1,500, and 2 $500 prizes. So we give away about 17.5, and the organization keeps 17.5. So right now, this money is sitting on their books. So I think probably in Rob's case, let's do let's get some cash out to people that may need it, and let's do something cool. How do we, do we want to go to maybe Rob's house and safely distance? He needs to speak to Teresa about doing a live broadcast on one of our shows to pull the winning ticket. Or we can even set it up here, Rob, at Partners in Sound. We'll bring you into the studio downstairs. And, yourself, Teresa, the family, Michael, whoever, whichever you guys talk to. But we can definitely draw this raffle ticket. And then there's also the Apple MacBook Air ticket, which is really, really great. And, who can't use a new computer? So let's try to figure out logistically how we can get this done, Rob. Rob probably has a couple more tickets he has to collect because they're amazing board members, but sometimes we forget to drop off the stubs.
Yeah, we could easily come there. I can bring Mike there, and we'll mask him up, and we'll have him draw the tickets, right? On a big hopper, and this way it's on camera there, and people could kind of see it. You guys record it, I'm sure, and then we could probably put that embedded onto our website, so kind of people see the transparency of the raffle as well if they're questioning it and so on. Because we want to be obviously as it's an official raffle, so we want to make sure people understand how we're pulling it and all and whatnot, the winner and so on.
And another testament to Rob. So I sit in a lot of meetings with numbers after events. I'm okay with getting things down to the dollar. Rob gets it down to the penny. I don't know how he does it, but it is absolutely amazing that, if, to the dollar, all right, we raised, $398. All right, it's $400. To me, that's okay. Rob is like, no, it's $398.22. Minus the stamp it cost us to send out the thank you letter to the person. There's transparency, and then there's transparency. Rob and the team there really.
Well, I appreciate that, Mas. It's important to me. I think when it comes to a charity, listen, we unfortunately, when it comes to charities, and we all know that there's been a lot of charities along the way that have caught, a lot of negativity and negative publicity because of different things that they've done. Some have been some has been justified, some hasn't been, whatever. I said, that's never going to be me. If people want to come in and look at, the Michael's Kors books, hey, come on in. You know what I'm saying? Every dollar is accounted for. Where we spend our money. What we what we fund. What we don't fund. Where what we expense out and so on. And I think that's just the way, that it should be done, and that's why to your point, yeah, I'm a little anal when it comes to certain things, but I feel better at the end of the day that I could kind of sleep well at night knowing that everything's kind of in line,
Yes.
I appreciate you saying that, though. Thank you, Mark.
Thank you. Vinny, yes, we're going to draw that ticket live. Not today, obviously. Rob has to just do some due diligence and make sure everything crosses and everything's right. I think we have a few tickets left.
Yeah, we got a few tickets left to collect from some folks out there. We were ready to go. Obviously, would have been ready to go on March 21st. And then with COVID and the distancing, we haven't had the chance to get out to some folks' houses that still have some tickets out there. So there's about 30 tickets we still have to collect. And we'll do that in the next week or so, and then we'll circle back with you and do that. That would be great.
Awesome. So August 1st, we're still up in the air. God willing, maybe we can get it in. The walk at the end of in September, October, God willing, we'll be able to get it in. The big question is the Vinny Bamunda barbecue. Vinny and I spoke, and the Joe Miggs band, are we doing something Sunday or not? There was some talk about us doing a virtual barbecue, a virtual Bamunda barbecue. I know he postponed it to September, but any news on that?
I didn't hear. We have to circle back with Vinny on that then.
Okay.
Yeah, we'll definitely circle back with Vinny.
I know we were trying to do something virtually, and I know it's Memorial Day weekend. It just kind of snuck up.
It's like everything snuck up on us here. We hope that everyone stays safe out there, and hopefully we're closer to the end than the beginning with this thing, and for everyone's sake, and everyone that wants to get back to work and let's move on with our lives here, and listen, anyone and we all know people that have had this virus. And unfortunately, a lot of us know people that have lost folks that have had it, and certainly sympathies go out there. But let's just kind of stay the course, and we'll get through this, one day at a time. Yep.
Rob, I'm going to let you go. I don't know who's next to on duty, on the children duty. I don't know if it's you and Teresa. If you handle.
No, she's at work. She's at the hospital doing her thing, and it's all me tonight. We'll try and whip something together for dinner and do our thing here. And you guys enjoy the rest of your night, Todd. Good talking to you again, Moss. And we'll be back in touch with you guys soon.
I'll see you on the streets.
Yes, you will.
Are we publicizing Wednesday night's event? I know you mentioned it earlier.
Yes. Oh, so definitely. Yeah. Please, if you guys are around Wednesday evening, May 20th at 5 p.m., we are having a drive-by birthday celebration for Michael. You were at 167 St. Clair Avenue is the drive-by address, and at 5 p.m., like I said. So if you're in the area, please come by, give a honk to a strong little boy. He'd love to see you, and we certainly appreciate it. Thank you.
Rob, love you guys. Thank you so much.
Love you too. Thank you.
And
enjoy the rest of your day, guys.
Thanks, Rob.
All right, Rob. Take care, man.
So
awesome. Is that it? Was that it, Moss? Is that right? Wednesday?
Yeah, so there is this Wednesday, 5 o'clock is the drive-by for Michael Caplongo, 14 years old. And I don't know, just to recap, and I don't want to be so negative, but, Duchenne muscular dystrophy only affects boys. It's 1 in every couple of thousand boys have it. And, it slows them down, and it gets to the point where, and I don't know all about 100% about the disease, but, walking is one of those things that, eventually will slow down in this disease. It's one of the side effects. And the fact that, Michael's 14 years old and he's still walking shows that we as a society have been able to make a difference on slowing down the effects of this disease. Now, have we cured it yet? No. Are we going to get there? We're going to try every little bit. And we're going to, every day that goes on is a day that we have an opportunity to raise money to try to find the cure to this horrific disease. And that's why it's so important that if you're around on Wednesday, show a 14-year-old boy that you got his back. And that's, you can say it, but it takes a few minutes, guys. You got to come get in your car and just blow the horn as you drive by, and 5 o'clock. So, and and you'll hear us because we're going to be loud and obnoxious. So,
of course we are.
But
absolutely. All right.
I love the Capolango family. Really, like I said, I met Rob 9 years ago, sick. And, it was a dad selling chocolate bars to raise money to save his son's life. And I started going, how many chocolate bars can I buy? And I was fat moss. So I could have bought the whole truckload, ate them, and ate a little more.
Exactly.
And I said to him, how do I get involved? And he's like, I'm selling chocolate bars. And he showed a little video. And I watched it. And total transparency. At the end of the video, I cried. I was crying in the middle of Pasticceria Bruno in the back of the room going, my daughter, Carly, was just 1, maybe 2. I have a healthy, beautiful girl at home. And I'm like, here's this guy trying to raise money,
No, great guys, great cause. And yeah, I mean, that's
And I wish I
amazing.
never met them. I wish I would have never met them under these circumstances. I say it every time. I love them, but I wish I would have met them under different circumstances. But our paths crossed. So now, our paths crossed. Now I'm going to have to let you into the executive club because I'm going to need a running partner. I'm trying to hold it over your head. You think we get Bloomy to run?
Hold on. I think this man just shake his head. No, I think Bloomy's too scared. I mean, hold on. I got to shut your mic. I don't know if it's going to happen. I'm with Rob on this one. I don't know if it's going to happen because that's such a huge. Again, we've said this before on here. It's 50,000 participants. It's 10,000 plus volunteers. It's thousands of first responders. It's a huge undertaking. Moss, I hope it happens. I don't see why it can't happen, but you know what's going on.
Rob,
but I say we try it anyway. Be ready. Let's be ready.
What's our first day of training?
I'm at your office right now. Let's go right now. We'll go run around the block. We could go. You know what? I could take my cell phone. We could go live right now, and we could do a jog around the block. And that's an official start. Put the cigarette in your mouth. That's good. That's a good start to training. Put the cigarette in your mouth, and then you can run with the old school. Old school, like old school. Yeah, that's what he was saying, like old school.
Cigarette, scotch, coffee. I got this.
That's it. That's all you got to do while you're running. All right. I say we go. We keep the show going. We're up to 17 million people. I don't know how we shut up. 4 o'clock hit, but then we shut up. But I think we should go running right now. I have my cell phone. I'll log in, and let's go for a jog live. Training for the New York City Marathon because that happened. That happened. Wow. Big.
You're definitely going to do it with me.
Yeah. And
you're going to have to slow down because I can't run at your pace.
Yeah, no. So here's I wanted this question for Rob. So you can do the New York City Marathon with his virtual training thing. That's really good. So would you and your wife run together? Like, would you run early in the morning at like 6, 7 o'clock, or even earlier?
He runs away from his wife now.
He said you run away from your wife now. Look at him. I've never seen Scan Moss. That's a Scan Moss face. Look at him. He's like,
that's what a crazy bitch.
So we could do I like fasted cardio. I like waking up, having a little glass of water, and going for a run.
Oh no. This is the only way it gets done. It's got to be done in the morning.
Okay.
I'm up early. You tell me what time, and I'm there. All
right.
I mean, listen, and with all due respect, I mean, you live in Jersey, I live in Staten Island.
Okay.
If you keep me pumped and you keep me motivated, I'm in.
You see this right here? Joe Russo. Thank you, Dave, for pointing this out. I'm sorry I have to mute your mic, Dave. You'll gain at least 12 more viewers if you go run right now.
Guys, I'm in jeans. I don't even have running shoes.
So let's go for a walk. You got to start somewhere. Walk before you run. Isn't that a stupid cliche? Let's go for a walk around the block. We'll keep the show going on my cell phone.
We could, but the problem is I have a 4:30 meeting at Pro Show, and it's 4:08.
According to Russo, he's part of Pro Show. He said do it.
Russo says do it. I'm just repeating Dave here. I'm not trying to.
He said he'll get Zano to log in.
And he'll get Zano to log in.
Zano, the guy's technically challenged. He's still trying to figure out his 2-point authenticity. So I think we got to end it. We're going to come up with a game plan. No, I'm not being a jerk. I'm being okay. Guys. If I'm committed, I'm committed. Russo, go make dinner, okay? Mr. Mom, go figure it out.
What did Justin say? Russo said you don't got to go.
Justin, who's that guy? I want to see Justin put his money where his mouth is. What is Justin pledging on me running the marathon?
Wow, this is a big deal.
Yeah.
This is a big deal.
We gotta
That's a
now-
big
we
commitment.
we have to put a link on all of our shows.
Oh, yeah.
We're going to continue this on After Dark. Fair?
Fair. 100%. I'm just your audience, your people want to see you walk around the block or go for a little jog.
Guys, I got a 4:30 meeting. There's not much going on. When we have a meeting to make money, we got to do it. Remember, I'm the only one not on unemployment. $2.
$2.
On that note, I'm out.
That note.
We'll see you at 10 o'clock.
All right, guys. Have a great one. Take it easy. Take care. Comb your hair. This has been Midday with Moss. Coming up next. Actually, no. COVID Talks is now Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday. So never mind.
What? Whoa. Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday. They're not doing Mondays and Fridays. I guess viewership, since you know who isn't talking to you know who is.
That's what happens. That's what happens. All right, tonight, 10 o'clock, Moss is going to go run around the block. All right, good night.
Good night.
Bye. See you later.